So you're dreaming of stepping into your own personal steam room, right in your own home. That kind of luxury, it's actually more attainable than you might think. But, and this is a big but, it is definitely not a simple weekend project. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it takes to install a home steam generator, step by step.
I mean, this is the dream, isn't it? Your own private oasis of steam. And the generator, that's the heart of the whole operation. It's the machine that makes it all possible, pushing out that perfect, relaxing cloud of steam whenever you want it.
Okay, but here comes the reality check. We're talking about a serious piece of equipment. It brings together high heat, high pressure water, and high voltage electricity all inside a very, very wet room. This is absolutely not a project where you can just wing it.
Right, so to get from that amazing dream to a working, safe reality, we're going to walk through the 5 critical steps of the installation. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what this project is all about, and you can decide if you want to tackle it yourself or call in the pros. First things first, before you even think about buying a single thing, you have to get the sizing right. Seriously, this is the foundation for the entire project. The generator's power has to be matched perfectly to the unique characteristics of your specific room.
And trust me, it's so much more than just calculating the volume of the room. A higher ceiling? That needs more power. A big, beautiful glass wall? Well, that lets heat escape faster, so you're going to need a stronger unit. Even the materials you use matter a ton. Dense stone like marble soaks up way more heat than something like acrylic, and that dramatically changes how fast the room will steam up.
And when it comes to sizing, there is no close enough. If you go too small, you're just going to get a weak, lukewarm cloud that never really gets hot enough to enjoy. And if you go too big, the machine will constantly be turning on and off, which just wears out the parts faster and wastes a ton of electricity. The takeaway here is simple. Measure twice, buy once.
Okay, once you've found that perfectly sized generator, we have to move on to the most critical part of the entire installation, the electrical work. This is where safety is everything, and there is literally zero room for error.
These generators are power hungry. They need their very own dedicated circuit, and it has to be protected by a GFCI or RCD breaker to prevent any chance of electric shock. You absolutely must follow the manufacturer's wiring diagram to the letter. And getting that temperature sensor in exactly the right spot, that's vital. It's the brain of the system that keeps it from overheating.
And really, this is the bottom line. This is not the place to get creative or improvise. Every single connection, every wire, and every component has to be installed exactly as the manual says. That's the only way to ensure you have a safe and reliable system for years to come.
So, this all leads to a really important question you need to ask yourself. When you think about the mix of high-voltage electricity and a whole lot of water, are you truly qualified for this? Or is this the moment you pick up the phone and call a licensed professional? For most of us, the answer is going to be the second one. So, with the electrical plan locked in, it's time to talk about plumbing. Now, you got to think of this as a two-way street. You need a clean, reliable water supply coming in, and you need an effective way to get all the used water and condensate out.
First off, hard water is the enemy. Mineral buildup, also known as scale, will clog up your system and kill its performance, so you might even need a water treatment system. Second, gravity is your best friend here. All the drain lines have to have a slight downward slope so that water flows out easily and doesn't back up into the generator. And finally, before you even think about closing up any walls, you have to pressure test every single connection to find any potential leaks.
Now, you can have the best, most powerful generator in the world, but if the room itself isn't built right, you're just setting yourself up for failure. The room is the envelope that has to hold in all that hot, moist air, and getting it perfect is absolutely crucial, both for the experience and for protecting your house. So, what does that mean? It means the room needs to be really well insulated and then completely wrapped in a waterproof vapor barrier. Every single seam, every corner, every little hole for plumbing or lights has to be meticulously sealed. Any tiny gap is an escape route for steam, and that's just going to lead to condensation and eventually mold and rot inside your walls. All right, after all that hard work, we have finally reached the last step, commissioning the system. Before you start using your steam room every day, you need to do a full system check to make sure everything is absolutely perfect. So what is commissioning? Basically, it's the final exam for your installation. You're going to power everything on, make sure the digital controller is working, and then run the generator through a full heat cycle. You'll be watching for any leaks, listening for any strange noises, and just making sure the steam output is strong and steady.
This is your last chance to find and fix any little issues before you officially open your personal spa.
And that is the payoff. When you get the sizing right, the electrical right, the plumbing right, and the room construction right, you're not just installing an appliance. You are investing in years and years of reliable, on-demand relaxation.
So, after seeing all the steps involved, from the complex calculations to the high-stakes electrical and plumbing work, the final question is for you. Is that dream of a personal home spa worth the very real complexity of this project? Well, now, your answer can be a much more informed one.